Thank you very much, 𝘿𝙗𝙖, 𝙬𝙗𝙖, and 𝘿𝙝𝙤 for today's chanting. Back with us this week, we have Bro Tan Leng Huat to share on the sequence of I Love Chanting Part 3. Over to you, Bro Tan Leng Huat.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Brother Clarence, and thank you, all chanters. So, to begin with, let me pay homage to the Buddha 3 times. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, dear friends, last week we have covered on the qualities of the Buddha. Our sequence of chanting, we say we do our refuge to the Buddha. Of course, paying homage to him, then the refuge. And then followed by the Panchasila, after which we will chant the Buddha Vandana, which I've gone through with you. When we chant the Buddha Vandana, what qualities do we want to assimilate? And then we highlighted on this, actually, the quality that we wanted to assimilate. We kind of state that, he's one person that is, knows the knowledge very well, and he practices what he preach. So this is brief. This can be demonstrated. We say last week on his 5 friends. 5 friends have abandoned him. But people like us, we say, if somebody abandoned us, we won't bother him anymore, That is how we are. But not for the Buddha. He remembers. He remembers, and then he's very grateful to his friends, so he doesn't bear that grudge. So when he was enlightened, the first thing he did was to go and also look for them, to share with them what he found. So that kind of person the Buddha is, not bearing grudge. Like what we say, kita lah, kalau people like us, kalau kena singgung sikit, sudah marah, for life, we get angry lah, we will get angry with that person lah, but not the Buddha. So we have to assimilate such qualities from him lah. That he actually practices what he preach. People who does things in front of you and the same thing behind you. These are the qualities we need to try to emulate him. And also with his he had lots of determination and courage. Nobody guaranteed him that he will succeed in his propagation. Nobody promised him that. No divine being promised him, don't worry, you go with no. But he went for what he says, go forth, O bhikkhus. Remember this statement. For the good of the many. He did it for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world, for the good, the benefit, and happiness of gods and men. Let not two go by one way. Preach, O bhikkhu, the Dhamma, which is excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, and excellent in the end. Both, okay, excellent beginning, middle, and the end, he says. So that is what he has in mind. He has something good to share, and he went forward to share. So this is the kind of person that we should emulate this quality from him lah. Not only chanting, I said, that was the next level of chanting. We have to try to focus our attention on what we chant, and then we know that we're talking about the Buddha. We must emulate these qualities. That is what we want to do now. For us, after we have learned the correct pronunciation, we have learned chanting, now we must go a little bit beyond that. Okay? So understanding what he says. Now there are beings, the Buddha says, with little dust in the eyes, who not hearing the Dhamma will fade away. There will be those who understand the Dhamma. Yes, the Buddha was initially quite reluctant. He thought it was difficult, to teach the Dhamma. The Dhamma is very, very simple. The Dhamma is very simple. 4 Noble Truths, 8 Paths, very simple, but not easy to realize, not easy to follow. So, but then So he knows that it's not easy, but then he also realized it because of his compassion, because of his interest to help the world, for the happiness of the many, because of his compassion. Then he went on, he went forth. He knows that there will be people, which is meaning to say people like us lah, who have a bit in last in our eyes, we can still see the Dhamma lah. So we are pursuing to try to realize the Dhamma. That is our target lah. But of course, it's a long way lah, we agree. But nevertheless, the Buddha was not wrong. The Buddha said that there are people with little dust in the eyes. Proven today, there's so many of them, billions of people with little dust in the eyes who are pursuing the Dhamma, trying to realize the Dhamma. So the Buddha is never wrong. Though he was never assured of any success, but that is what we have to emulate. Emulate his courage, emulate his confidence. So that is what we want to emulate in the Buddha. So that's what we say. Those are the qualities of the Buddha. When we chant it, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vidyacharana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati. We're not chanting as a ritual, but we are chanting the 9 qualities of the Buddha, trying to assimilate the simple ones as a starter for us. Okay. Now, next after that, we will chant, of course, Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditthiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanayiko Pacchatang Veditappo Vinyuhiti. Then now we chant the qualities of the Dhamma. 6 qualities of the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, which is simple, but yet not easy to follow. But we want to learn the Dhamma now. When we have chanted, we want to analyze what's all about and how do we tap the inspiration from the Dhamma. What's important is we want to tap the inspiration from the Dhamma, to understand the Dhamma, and in order for us to practice the Dhamma. So what are the 6 qualities of the Dhamma that we chanted? Swakato. Okay, the first one is Swakato. This Dhamma is not a speculative philosophy. Remember, the Buddha is not speculating anything. Okay? It is not a speculative philosophy, but it is the universal law found by the Buddha through enlightenment. Okay? And he is preaching it very precisely. Right? Which is his Dhamma, he says, is excellent in the beginning. It is excellent in the middle and excellent in the end. So we will translate this as the Buddha Dhamma is excellent in the beginning. The Buddha is teaching us to be good in our sila, in our morality. It is excellent for morality. Simple, follow the 5 precepts. And that is the ethics that we have to follow as a Buddhist, ethical Buddhist. Okay, we must be ethical Buddhist. We must learn the sila first, which is meaning we just have to learn to observe and adhere to our 5 precepts. It's very simple, although not easy, but we must make every effort. We must put in effort to be able to be morally upright. So that's why the Buddha says his teachings is excellent in the beginning. So we focus on these moral values. The benefit is going to be tremendous, which again the Buddha says is excellent in the middle. So sometimes people say this excellent in the middle is samadhi. When we have practiced and improved on our sila, not perfected our sila, but at least we have improved ourselves in our sila, then maybe as you do that, it improves on your concentration. The concentration will automatically also increase as you concentrate. What I'm saying is, you see, if you chant the Panchasila all the time, we remember it is about ethics, okay? Then we focus on our ethics. Our mind is very concentrated. Don't forget. So the mind becomes concentrated, easy to learn things, easy to absorb things. Then eventually, as we chant more suttas, we hope that we will become wise. And of course, the Buddha says that is the wisdom excellent in the end. So it is about the sila, samadhi, and panya. It is about the eightfold path. It is sila, samadhi, panya. Now the eightfold path is categorized into sila, samadhi, and panya, and wisdom towards the end. So that is what it says. So we remember when we chant Swakato, we say, yes, the Buddha's teaching is excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, and excellent in the end. Meaning I must be inspired to upgrade, to improve my sila. Right? So we go slowly as gradual learning. Buddhism is not about jumping into wisdom. It's about gradual learning. Because through this gradual learning, you will benefit. And I will interpret this excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, excellent in the end as these teachings of the Buddha. It is good for beginners level. It is also good for those who are middle practitioners and also good for the advanced practitioners. All can benefit equally. The teachings of the Buddha, we all can benefit equally. Even if you are new in Buddhism, you start Buddhism today, but the teachings of the Buddha is going to be equally as good for you as it is equally as good for me and equally as good for our teachers also. So it is the meaning of that sila, samadhi, panya, and also good at the beginning. Those are beginners, you will not lose out anything. Don't worry. Practice your sila. You will come to that wisdom. For those who are doing samadhi, you practice, you will reach that wisdom. For those who are pursuing for wisdom, you will get your wisdom. So we are equally on equal grounds. That is what I would mean. I would say it means that it is good for beginners, good for middle practitioners, and good for advanced practitioners. That is so we must know. When we say Swakato, we know that these teachings will benefit us, regardless of what we are, whether we are middle practitioners or advanced practitioners or just beginners today. These teachings of the Buddha will benefit me. Remember that. So we are inspired to pursue more on the teachings of the Buddha. When we are inspired, we know we will benefit. Don't say, I'm just beginner, I cannot benefit, better give up. Too late for me. Then you won't benefit. No, it is not right. It will benefit you as a beginner today. Okay? Equally as you will benefit others. So Sanditiko, Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko. So Sanditiko is what? Sanditiko, the Dhamma is testable by practice and known by direct experience. You see, the Buddha did not invent this Dhamma. So we must also remember, now we say that, okay, first we say that the teachings are not a philosophical thing, but it is of universal law. Okay, it is good for us. Okay, good for the beginning. Now we will say that the Dhamma is testable by practice and known by direct experience. What does that mean? The Dhamma that the Buddha taught us is not that we cannot be tested, it's not that we cannot question him. The Buddha has never said that you don't question the Dhamma. Dhamma taught by the Buddha must be questioned, the Buddha says. And when you find that the answers are suitable for you, you accept it, okay? Not by force. Though the Buddha says is Sanditiko, this Dhamma is testable by practice and known by direct experience. Sometimes people give a simile like the gold. The gold what? You must test the gold with the flame. Normally they will melt the gold a bit and see whether there are contaminants inside and all those things. So we test the Dhamma exactly that way. See whether it is correct in the beginning, good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Or it is just middle all mixed up. So that is what it means. So good in the middle, the Buddha assured you, it is good in the center, middle, it is good in the end. So we must test whether true or not true. Like the goldsmith tests the gold with flame to see that there are no contaminants inside. So the teachings of the Buddha must be tested to see that it is not being adulterated. Sometimes, yes, it can be adulterated. So that's what it means here. Okay? And then it means that don't simply listen. Don't simply listen because, it is taught by the master. Oh, my master says so. Don't worry. this Dhamma is, because my master taught me like that, so must be correct. No, the Buddha said, do not listen by virtue that it just simply taught by a master, you must accept it. Or by old tradition, oh, this is an old tradition, don't question, this is a 1,000-year-old tradition, don't question. No, the Buddha says you can question. And not because it is practiced by the many people. Hey, don't worry lah, many people practice this Dhamma lah. Sure, correct one lah. No, you still must test, the Buddha says. Not because it is taught by a master, or it's an old tradition, or even practiced by many people, or it's written somewhere. No, it's written in this book. I show you. Okay, the Buddha says you still test. Okay, or it is a legend, or it is by reports or logic, things like that. This is in the Kalama Sutta. The Buddha says don't accept his teaching blindly basing on this kind of things. Test the Dhamma. And what do you mean by testing the Dhamma? This is interesting, No, so the Buddha gives you all the solution. That's why the Buddha is a very great teacher. So the Buddha says don't listen to all these kind of things, but you must test the Dhamma. Now our question to him is how to test the Dhamma. We know nothing about the Dhamma, how to test. Correct. Simple, the Buddha says, you test whether these qualities that you read, that's being taught by these people, by your teachers, whether these qualities are skillful or not. Correct? Whether these qualities are blameless. Right? We don't want to learn something which people will start blaming us now for being greedy, for being cruel. No. So test it. It must be skillful, very good and pure. People don't blame us for practicing. This is good for everybody. Good for you, good for me. Yes. So it's blameless. Okay. And these qualities that you do is praised by the wise. Make sure the wise people say that, yes, they are doing right. So that's how you test the Dhamma, the Buddha says. And then these qualities is praised by the wise. And these qualities, when you adopt, when you assimilate these qualities, it leads you to welfare and happiness of you and for others. Not for others only, neither for you only. Whatever you do, it should be good for you and for others. Okay? And if this is being tested this way, these are the 4 ways to test. If you find all the answers are yes, all the answers are positive, then you should enter and remain into this practice. It's quite simple, sometimes we think how to test. I was thinking also how to test. How? I do not know anything how to test, but yes, the Buddha says, test whether, so I will repeat this, you test these qualities, whether they are skillful or not, whether these qualities are blamable or not. People will blame you or not for these qualities, correct? Or whether these qualities praised by the wise. And these qualities, when you adopt and carry out, will lead you to welfare and happiness of you and others. Then you accept this teaching. Okay, this is how you put the Dhamma to test. Okay, so the Buddha says clearly to the followers, investigate, verify, experiment. Buddhism is about experiential. It's about experiential Dhamma. Dhamma through experience. It is experiential. So you must experience it. Okay, so let yourself be guided by this free empirical research. You must do this based on your observation and experience, rather than some logic and theory. Some theory and some logic, sometimes you cannot pakai . So make sure that you observe this, and then it is your experience that you know this is good. Because Buddhism is an experiential religion. You must experience the goodness of the religion. So that is called experiential, and not by empirical research, the research basing on some logic or some theory. No. Okay? So with meticulous precision, with trial and error you do, okay? To assess the path, you must test all this now, assess the path. The path is the Eightfold Path now. You must assess all the things that the Buddha taught us how to go, to move. That path we follow, we test. Then eventually we must taste the fruit of your practice, whether it is true or not. Example, the Buddha says, you refrain from killing, okay? Then you must test lah. What do you mean by refrain? Okay, how does it help? Then you realize, oh yes, it has made the society more safe. Yes, people are more safe to know that you are around, you will help them, you are not a robber, you are not a thief, because you maintain the 5 precepts. The society becomes more stable, becomes conducive. So now you test. Yes, it is good lah. So you know that that path brings you very good result. Okay, the magga and the phala, we call it lah. So you know that's good. And this is free from rituals. We have no rituals for you to follow. Buddhism is free from rituals, free from dogmatic practices. Correct? Then we follow lah. Don't say you must do this in the morning. Like those days, during the time of the Buddha, they have a lot of rituals and they get up in the morning. They must get up on the right side of the bed. They must touch the floor. They must make sure they got together correctly. And they go walk. If they forget one of these rituals, then they have to pay a penalty the whole day. No, Buddhism has no such rituals, no such dogmatic practices. Okay? Okay, then we continue. So the Buddha explained that you have to look for yourself what you see with your own eyes, because you and you alone are your own protector. Remember, Buddhism, Buddha always focus that you are your own protector. You cause your mistakes yourself. You pay the penalty yourself. Nobody can pay for you your penalty, and nobody can also cause you to do things that you don't want to do. If you don't want to do, you don't do. If you think it's wrong, correct? So you are your own protector. So you are your own protector. See. So the stanza the Buddha uses here is atahi atano nato. Okay? Atahi atano nato, meaning that because you are not alone, you are your own protector. Nato, your own protector. And this is extremely important. You must remember this verse. If you can, you remember that you are your own protector. The day until you want to die, the day that you become a Buddhist or you become a yogi, you must remember. Even you don't become a Buddhist, that is just a label. You must remember that we are our own protector. We don't depend on people. Okay? So this Dhamma should be followed from that from very early age. So you should know. So there we have covered the second quality of the Dhamma. Now, then we say Akaliko. Akaliko, what is this? So here it says the Dhamma is able to bestow timeless and has immediate results and here and now. You see, the Dhamma is not something that promises you good results when you die. The Dhamma is not something that promises you at later part you will benefit. No. The Dhamma tells you that you can benefit it right now also. Again, I tell you the example, if you follow the 5 precepts, you are a respectable person. That is your immediate result. People will respect you for being so kind, for being so compassionate, for being so considerate, and for being so ethical. That is the immediate result. You are respected and people will recognize your contribution. That is the immediate result you have. Correct? So that is called akaliko. That means this is timeless. Don't worry about only when you die, you experience the goodness. No. Even today, if you are a very ethical person, you benefit the results immediately. Not don't have to wait until you die. Okay? But of course, even if you practice well today, you can become an arahant and experience nibbana also. That's what it means by akaliko. Benefit is here and now. Don't wait until you die. And Buddhism is about the only religion that says that you don't have to wait for that. You can experience a nibbana even when you are alive. That is when you become an arahant. You experience that total bliss now. Okay. So let us revisit the Four Noble Truths. Let's see how. Today, with the advancement of science, do we still feel unsatisfactoriness in our life? Everything is there, you got aircon there, we got cars, we got very good mode of transport, we got everything very conducive, very comfortable. But we still feel unsatisfactory, isn't it, life, isn't it? We still feel that it can be improved. Correct or not? Even life is so comfortable today with science backing us. Wow, now everything is easy all on internet. You know, oh, I want to talk to my daughter in London. Go on the internet. Correct. So, but even that, we still feel unsatisfactoriness. There must be still a way to improve because we always think that material success is ultimate. So that is our problem today lah. We still feel that the material success is the ultimate. So we still feel the lack of material success and still want more. This sickness of greed, hatred, and delusion is still rampant among us. Correct. So the Buddha says, these are the three poisons. The Buddha says these are the three poisons. Correct. And it is still applicable today, All the problems today are caused by this greed, hatred, or delusion. That was taught by the Buddha over 2,500 years ago. And what he says, akaliko, Buddha's teachings are timeless. It is still applicable today. Do you think this is right? Right? All the problems today are caused by greed. If not greed, it is hatred. If it's not hatred, it's delusion. These are the three poisons in life. So it is still applicable today. Even after so many years, it is still applicable today. Would you agree with me? As taught by the Buddha, we say that it is still applicable today. So this is what it means by akaliko. So remember the Buddha's teaching, don't have doubt. Don't say, this may be outdated already lah. This one outdated lah. There is no outdated. Buddha's teaching is never outdated. That's why it's called akaliko. The Dhamma is akaliko, meaning it is never outdated. I told you one, that the three poisons, are they outdated? No. Although with all the advancement in science, all the comfort that science can provide us, we are still lacking that full satisfaction because we are still wanting more of material bliss. We think more material bliss is perpetual happiness. That was what the Buddha taught over 2,500 years ago. Today, we still feel the same thing. Is it correct? It is timeless? Yes, it is akaliko. Now, the law of karma is still applicable today as it was applicable 2,000 years ago, or still applicable maybe 5,000 years ago, still applicable, timeless. So remember, law of karma is still applicable today. Don't say science is there. Science can ward off your karma. No, nothing can do that. Okay, so that's what the Buddha taught us, and also of dependent origination. These are all timeless, all the teachings of the Buddha. The law of karma, the three poisons, the tilakkhana, and the law of impermanence, they are all timeless. This is called akaliko. So never confuse yourself and think that these are all outdated teachings. Sometimes we feel, how can these teachings taught by Buddha by somebody which is over 2,500 years? Why should I follow now? And then you put to test lah. You put to test and see whether it's true or not. It's true. These are akaliko. Okay? Then we move on. It says akaliko 𝘿𝙖𝙖𝙢𝙖. Remember? 𝘿𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙢𝙖, very common practice. Everybody says 𝘿𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖. Come and test. Okay? Come and put this to test yourself. The Dhamma is experiential. The Dhamma is for you to experience. That's what it means by 𝘿𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖. Come. And experience the Dhamma, not just to learn by heart. No, the Dhamma is for you to experience. And what I've explained from number 1 to number 3 is for you to experience. And I'm sure you can experience all this, isn't it? So that is the meaning of 𝘿𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖. Though the Dhamma is 𝘿𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖. Remember, come, you're welcome to come and test and taste and experience the Dhamma. Not only learning by heart. When we chant this, we know, oh yes, the Dhamma is here for me to experience. Yes, you follow ethical way of life by observing the 5 precepts, you can experience the bliss later. All these are there, but the Buddha's teachings are all called 𝘿𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙖. Dhamma is experiential. You are always invited to come and taste the Dhamma. If not to test, you can taste the Dhamma and see whether it's true or not. Okay? Then you must realize that wisdom yourself. What do you mean by experiential? It is because these things you must experience yourself, and you must also do it yourself. You must work for it yourself. Okay? This Dhamma is for you to cultivate yourself. Even like I've said, you can be a very rich person. You cannot employ somebody to taste the Dhamma for you. Impossible. You yourself must taste the Dhamma. Right? Then you realize the goodness of the Dhamma. That's what it means by �𝙖𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙧𝙞𝙣. Then after that we say 𝘿𝙝𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙧𝙞𝙣. So we say the Dhamma is capable of being entered upon, and therefore is worthy to be followed as part of one's life. Correct? This Dhamma is capable of being entered upon. This Dhamma is simple. You can try and enter upon the Dhamma, and you follow the Dhamma yourself. As in the Dhammapada, the Buddha explained why you have to look for yourself, why you have to see it with your own eyes. You have to do it yourself, the Buddha says. Because you and you alone are your own protector. We have covered that. Attahi atano nato. This is extremely important verse, a verse that an insight that every practitioner, every yogi, every Dhammanuvati must follow, must know. Every follower of the Dhamma should be aware of this from early stage. They must be aware that we are our own protector. I will come to that later for a very good example later. Okay? So we are our own protector. All the answers are found in us. Okay, we'll come back to that later. Then the Buddha says, Pachatam veditapo vinyuhiti. Then the Dhamma may be practiced, realized only by the noble disciple who have matured and enlightened enough into supreme wisdom. Okay, this Dhamma is to be experienced by people who have tried. Okay, that's simple as that. It's all about trying. Now, we will come to a little bit of what I will share with you. Okay, I'll share with you a little bit of experience on what you mean by all this. Now we have chanted this. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko �𝙖𝙖𝙖𝙧𝙞𝙣 Panaiko Pachatang Veditapo Vinyuhiti. We have done this. We have explained to you the meaning one by one, just to remember, So most people, okay, now we will see how our takeaway is from this Buddha Dhamma Vandana. So most people measure success in their life in just the manner what they are getting whether they want, whether they are getting or not they want to measure material objects. They want to measure your success, your recognition. They want to measure your personal health. They want to measure your relationship. So this is a normal thing that today in life. We measure success by all these kind of things. It takes so little reflection to see for yourself that this is an unreliable manner for measuring the worth of your life. I'm not saying that you can give up all these desires, I'm not saying give up all these desires. No. You must maintain a little bit of material objects. You must maintain good relationship with people. You must maintain things and some recognition from the people. And you must maintain your personal health. Yes, you must do this. But what we are saying is just have this is, I'm not saying that you should give up your desires for sake moving forward. No, you must move forward, except that don't be too attached to this kind of things. Don't be too obsessed. We can have that ambition, but don't be too attached to that idea of success in that ambition. Idea of success to achieve that ambition. That attachment is a masalah. That obsession leads to lots of suffering. That is called sanditiko. So there is nothing to wait for. Okay, when you are purified morally, your actions and speeches are blameless, isn't it? Right? If you have already purified yourself morally, You can uphold your 5 precepts very well. You can take refuge in the Buddha. So your actions normally it is reflective, the actions become blameless one. Right? So it is immediate result again, isn't it? We call it, okay? So this is Opana. So remember, so, okay, now we focus on that part where I was telling you that I will come back and explain a little bit to you about each is your own protector, which is your own protector. We are each our own protector. So if we chant the stanzas or the Dhamma Vandana, we must remember this, each of us is our own protector. What does this mean, Okay, I'll explain a little bit here. So in this verse, the Buddha emphasized that the best teacher is inside each of us. The best teacher you have is us, inside us, okay? Within ourselves, that teacher is the spiritual light we all carry inside us. These are all inside us, the Buddha says. You have to tap it out only, Correct? The teacher is inside us, the Buddha says. Let this spiritual spark be our teacher. Everything we need to know is within us. Remember I said I'll explain this, You refer to the Rohitassa Sutta. Rohitassa Sutta tells you about the son of a deva. His name is Rohitassa. Rohitassa, he's a son of a deva. He travels at the speed of light. He is very fast, okay? So one day he came to the Buddha. What the Buddha is a Lokavidu, remember? Remember, the Buddha is a Lokavidu. He knows about all the worlds and all these galaxies and all the things. So this Rohitassa came to the Buddha and asked the Buddha, Bhante, I have a speed of light. I can travel A point to B point very fast. Supposing this, how many years does it take for me to travel to the end of the world to find the beginning? Or can I go forward? How many years it takes me to go forward to see the end of the world? Or I go backwards to see the beginning of the world? Can I see that? The Buddha says. He asked the Buddha, how many years do you need? For me, my speed, I got a speed of light. How many years? Can I go backwards to see the beginning of the world? Or I move forward to see the end of the world? I want to know how the world is formed. I can go and see one. Correct? And I can go and see how the world will end one day. The Buddha says you can travel for 100 years with no rest, only your toilet breaks, correct? And maybe your makan and toilet breaks only. You can travel for 100 years backwards. You will never see the beginning of the world. Okay? Then the Buddha says, even if you travel 100 years forward, no stopping for rest, only makan and toilet breaks, for 100 years, you will not see the end of the world also. Right? Because all these answers you look for, don't have to go that far. Don't go 100 years backwards, 100 years forward at the speed of light. You will not see the answer. The Buddha says the answer is within this fathom long body. All is inside us. Remember I said just now? We explain deeper now. All this knowledge you want is all inside you. The Buddha says, if you walk, if you go 100 years forward, 100 years backwards, you will not see anything. But it is the answer to your question on the beginning of the world and the ending of the world is within this fathom long body. This body, with its perception and intellectual, I declare that that is the cosmos. Okay? The cosmos is like us. The perception and intellectual that I declare is the cosmos, the origination of the cosmos, the cessation of the cosmos, and the path and practice leading to the cessation of the cosmos. That's what the Buddha says. Everything is inside us. The intellectual is here. The perception that we have, these are all perception and this intellectual that we have. So that's what the Buddha says now. So this all found inside you. I read to you the stanza. It is not to be reached by traveling, no. To the end of the cosmos, regardless. And it is not without reaching the end of the cosmos that there is a release from suffering and stress. There's not. Okay? The release from all this is all inside this fathom long body. Right? So that's what the Buddha says. So we must learn to search things within ourselves. So when we chant all this, we know that the Buddha is reminding us that all the solutions are all within ourselves. So when we chant this Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehi Pasiko Panaiko Pachatang Veditabo Vinyuhiti, we must be reminded all these solutions are found inside us. Okay? That is also one way. So we learn here is we never realize the truth to anybody else. Correct? There is no authority that can reveal the truth to us. Even the Buddhas can only point to the truth. Correct? The Buddha cannot make us realize the truth. The Buddha can show us the way to the truth. So he says here, even the Buddha can only point to the truth. Point towards the direction we need to look for, where we need to see. That's all the Buddha can do. But the answers are with us. To see for ourselves, to see with our own eyes, not through the eyes of others. To hear with our own ear and not through the ears of others. Right? To feel through this body of ours and not through the body of others. Right? So to taste through our mouth and not through the mouth of others. So to realize through our own mind, not through the mind of others. You cannot say, okay, I sponsor you, you go and study, you become enlightened. I take credit, I become enlightened also. Tak boleh jadilah, macam, right? So this is what the Buddha says lah, to realize it through our own mind and not through the mind of others. So when we chant these teachings of the Buddha, we must reflect these kind of things. This is the things that we want to understand. So, and whenever we receive praises or criticism in our quest, it is not at all important. All that matters is that with a pure intention. Remember, all matters is with pure intention. Samma Sankappa. We let the law of dependent origination, paticca samuppada, to be our witness. Right? This seeing, okay, when we say this seeing, sometimes we like to use the term see as is lah, Seeing as is does not mean physically you see lah, Okay, this one we can come later lah. It is not that verb that we talk about lah, but we can come later. It's seeing with wisdom lah. That means seeing with wisdom lah. Sometimes we have to say it is seeing as is lah. Okay, so with that, I think I will say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to you all. I hope this has been beneficial to you all. I'm focusing on why I chant because I'm also promoting chanting in Pali. I'm starting a new class on Wednesday. Next month, in September, October, we will start. I hope you all can join us. For those of you interested to learn chanting and to learn to pronounce the words correctly. And then we chant not as a ritual with all kind of meanings that we will explain to you more in detail if we are together. We are doing this online. On this kind of short talk that I've got 20, 40 minutes to talk, this is the best I can do for you. Okay, with that, I say thank you very much again for your time. I will hope to meet you again. When I meet you this time, I will focus on the qualities of the Dhamma and the offerings. How it inspires me. How it has inspired me and how I will go about to learn. Okay, thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So over to you, Brother Clarence.
Thank you very much, Bro Leng Huat, for today's sharing. Now let us dedicate those merits that we accrued so far to all beings, whether they are seen or unseen. Akasatha ca bhummatha deva naga mahitika punyang tamanumoditva chiram rakkantu loka sasanang ettavata ca amhehi sampadang punya sampadang Sabbe Deva, Sabbe Bhuta, Sabbe Satta Anumodantu, Sabba Sampatti Siddhya. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. And aspirations. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavani bana pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for watching. For other videos, please visit the links below. Bye bye for now. See you again next week.